Alright, BORG CUBE update. I wired up the one panel that actually goes in the side where the sphere goes. There is the opening right there. But I wanted to show what it looked like behind all the surface detail. That side doesn't have any surface detail, it's still the superstructure and the understructure. This side has all the generalized surface detail. It doesn't have any of the fine detail, it doesn't have any of the piping or anything like that, but it has the large resin shapes, which you can't really see. I'm going to turn the lights on in a minute and show you. But what I'm having issues with, and well, first let me tell you that it's daytime right now. We're in my garage, but I've blocked out, turned off all the lights, blocked out most of the lights. This is designed to be viewed in a slightly darker space than this is right here, and the camera kind of overexposes. So this should be an accurate depiction. The green glow, other than that white halo. I guess I should move this a little bit. Oh, I had to move everything so I had to keep my camera plugged in, but I have to turn the lights off. All the outlets are wired up to my lights and stuff, so I had to kind of rig things up so we could take a look. But the glow that you're seeing on camera is about an accurate depiction. That's about what it looks like. What's not accurate is the black portions that are in here, like all the resin, different shapes, are a bit blown out. You don't see any detail on the screen here. You're not seeing any. And I don't mean just surface detail, but it looks like when I'm looking at the monitor, all you're seeing is black spaces, like absent of light, rather than the actual. It's still not going to show up because of the lighting. So when you're viewing this, and I'm going to talk about the lighting of the cube, remember that you will actually see a bit more surface detail than what you're seeing. What you're seeing now is a green glow in the background. In the foreground, you're seeing just these black absence of light that the camera's not focusing on. It's not showing. It looks almost like a pixelation. But the issue that I'm having is on this side over here. You see how much brighter it is over here? I have on that foam board, and I'll pull it out and show you in a minute. There's 6 strands of I think 550, I think it is, or I'm not sure what type of SM LED is on there. It's the 550 is the brightest. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty positive. But what I'm having is the power comes into this side, and then it's all wired together in one constant strip. And then when you can see it when I pull it out, the light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and it seems to get dimmer in each time I hit a new strand. It gets dimmer. And what I don't really understand, and I haven't looked into it at all. I haven't troubleshot it at all. I'm just putting this video out first to see if anyone has any experience with this. Is I'm thinking it's the right voltage. I'm running it at 12 volts. Let me just double check. It's running at 12 volts, and it's at 1 amp. I don't know if that amperage is right. I really don't know anything about amperage. And the thing is, I have kitchen lights are exactly the same except for their RGBs. And there's 2 strands connected together, and there's no diminishing light. It stays kind of the same. There's no one strip is not brighter than the other. They're exactly the same. No matter what hue I adjust, because a little remote control, I can change the hue. So it all stays constant. So what I'm thinking is, it's one of 2 things: not enough amps, or I need a proper power supply designed for LED strips, which really sounds kind of weird. I don't know why I would need a power supply just for strips, but I've seen a few things where it's kind of like the old splitters, for like not Ataris, but like if you're going to split one headphone jack into 2, it has like a hub, and out of that there's 5 or 6 different ports where you can plug in different LED strips. So I'm wondering, do I need some kind of hub, one for each strip? So each strip goes to the power supply and separated. Because maybe I should mention, when I try to pop. So right now it's in series, right? Everything's connected to one big thing. I tried to do parallel, so all the positives together, all the negatives together. But whenever I connect 2 positives and 2 negatives together, the pair, connect them to the power supply, the lights just flicker out. They won't stay on. So somehow there's some kind of weird design or something where LED strips cannot be sent to the same power supply. I don't understand that. They have to run in series, not in parallel. So that hub I'm talking about, maybe it has some kind of specialized software, or there's something in there, or it's designed so it can run multiple things. That's what I don't understand. So what I think is I need to buy a hub so I can run multiple wires. If anyone has any experience with that, or understands why the light's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer the further you get from the power supply, which would mean amps, I think, or a different wiring technique, then let me know. But I did want to show this glow right here. This is about what I'm going for the whole thing. Maybe that's a little too bright. I want the whole thing to kind of shine like that. I want a back glow. Here's the thing is I like the glow, but I feel like it's too clean. Like almost like it's too green. It should be more, I guess, dirty. I don't know. The green is just too pronounced. And remember, this side doesn't have all the detail it's supposed to. This side actually has less detail than this side because this side hasn't been detailed up yet. There's still a few more steps till this side's close to the finished look. So there should be less blank spots in here. But I still feel like it's just a little too, I guess, clean. And you see how bright that is in there. Maybe I should, it's not going to show up too well. There's kind of a, inside here, there's kind of a constant glow that's very dull and not so crisp and green. Maybe that's what I should go for, but it's kind of hard to see. And the other thing too, I don't know if I really mentioned, is inside I have built these little, oops, I'm not showing you, these little backlights. So there's, 4 or 5 layers of detail in here. There's different pipings and all this kind of stuff inside here. And you can't see it all because the light's coming forward and it's, I don't know what the right word is, but it's overexposing, so you can't see anything that's between you and the light. You just see black. All you see is shadow. Well, these are designed, they fit inside the different layers, and they have a variance of 3 to 4 different LEDs. Some flash, some flicker, some are steady on, and they're all either, I think they're all warm. I might have put a couple of greens in here, I'm not sure. I think they're warm. None of them are ultra. I don't want the blue, but the yellowish. Some of the cubes do have yellow. If you really look at them, there's yellow inside there. So what these are designed to do is go between the different layers, and it's going to shine, like, say, between this layer right here, this resin layer, and the layer behind it, it's going to shine light backwards. So one, that'll diffuse the greenness. You won't see as much green because you're going to have this layer shining back, and it's going to illuminate inside the cube and show the detail that's built in there. Because what actually took a lot of work is not all the surface detail, not pouring all this resin, cutting the resin, shaping it, lining it all up. It's the layers that are in there. There's, like this first side that I did has, layers upon layers. It took me like a month and a half to do that very first side, and I'm still trying to figure out a rhythm. And what I like about the ambient lighting on the inside here is that it shows the depth of it. And what I didn't like about any of the BORG cubes I've seen, I've only seen 2 of them, or 3 of them if you count a Lego one, is that they look really cool, but it's just surface detail. There's no depth. And what I remember from, Best of Both Worlds in the first episode with the Borg, and even First Contact, and obviously Voyager, is there's depth. Like, there's just nothing but emptiness that goes into some, glow that goes inside there. What I loved about the cubes was the emptiness, and I was trying to convey that. The Warp model from the company Warp that makes the BORG cube is a really cool resin model that has no depth to it. There's absolutely no depth to it. And then there's a gentleman who actually, it's what got me started. He built one out of a cardboard box and drinking straws and like I don't know, different sticks and some googly eyes and stuff like that. It was a super cool, really nice cube, but it had no depth to it. It looked really great for a static. I think it's amazing. I don't think there's any problem with that. I think it's really good, but I just wanted to convey the depth. But what I'm having an issue right now is obviously the light. But let me get the lights on and I'll show you what else is going on. Alright, the other thing is I did some experiments with lighting up the deflector dish for the Enterprise C. There's some blotchiness. There's 2 dots you can sort of see out of focus that are there. Not sure what I'm going to do about this. I've already done this. This is my 3rd time doing this. And granted, this is obviously user error. I'm not applying the transparent blue properly. I think I'm going a little too heavy because it takes so many coats. I'm getting a little frustrated. But I still think it needs a couple more coats or maybe some kind of hazing or diffusion material behind here. And this is actually the deflector dish, I think off the 1000 refit Enterprise. And I'm putting this in the 2500 Enterprise C because that kit does not have a clear sensor dish, and this is sensor, and it's pretty damn close. That's option 1. And then option 2 is I have this one, which just has 1 coat. It's not, you can just see it's not so good. It still needs a couple more coats. This, I actually don't even know what this is. I know it sounds silly. I think it came off this screw that I had just sitting around here. And I'm pretty sure this goes to the 537 Defiant kit. But I don't know where that part goes. is this maybe the, I mean, there's the bottom, you know, and there's the top. It's actually inverted, I think, but I don't even know where this goes for the kit. But that's another option that is not too close to the Enterprise C. It's different. I know that the Yamato had a different sensor dish than the Enterprise C, so there's some variation. So I'm working on that. I haven't, and then my Reliant / Constellation build, I haven't really done anything. I toyed with the idea of using this because I think it's a really cool piece. It's some kind of a little pet shop toy for my kids. I think what I'm actually going to do is, I can't go over there because my phone or my camera's charging, but I have the old, let me pull this out, I'll show you. This is kind of towards one of the first kits I got. I got this really weird, like, I want to build space stations kit. And that camera's all over the place. Let me show you. So I bought a bunch of space station builds, or models. And there's that one. And you see that hole right there? That's the under construction portion. What I'm trying to do is, here's the old Star Probe, the old Lindenberg kit, and it comes in a few different versions. One comes with another shuttle or something, some kind of like telescope or laboratory. This one that I got just comes as is here with a couple of docking ships. You look up there, there's like the shuttlecraft, or I guess that's not it, it's right there, a couple of shuttlecraft. And then mine that I have over there, my shuttlecraft or docking craft are illuminated. One's not there, I intentionally left one off. That other one, it has RCS thrusters lit up with fiber optics. It has the main engine. I believe I put nav lights on there of some kind. And then you see that antenna mass of some kind. That has a flashing beacon on top. And then inside here, there's several flashing lights. There's an RGB that goes down this tunnel that looks like it somehow goes to some kind of reactor. There are flashing nav lights throughout the perimeter of it, top and bottom. Oh, and the cool thing is, you see, I'm moving so much. So you see that landing pad, right? Now let me show you in the box. Let me show you in the box. Okay. So that landing pad right there, on my model, what I did is I put SMDs throughout the whole thing, and I wired it up to a sequencer, so it kind of flashes, not around, but they both go, it's kind of like two flashes. They flash, the top and bottom flash together, out and in, out and in. So it's almost like it's going in a, oops. It's almost like it's going in a circle, but it's actually a half circle because the other side's following it. So it kind of goes in order. So there's a landing pad sequencer that goes around the pad, which is actually really hard to do, since it was, I guess, beyond me. And I had some issues, and the kit I bought to do the sequencing, I had some trouble with soldering it, and I had some issues. This is when I first started using, or the second time I used magnet wire, and this is why I don't really use magnet wire too much anymore, is the wire coating, or the enamel coating on magnet wire. It's really easy to rub off. It sounds weird, right? But if you put your wires down a brass tube, if there's any burrs or anything, you're going to get a bunch of shorts. So I had a bunch of shorts in this. I had a bunch of shorts in my 350 I built. So I don't like to use magnet wire unless it's an appropriate application. It doesn't have an abrasive coating. It's not designed for friction with with the tubes or the wires or whatnot. So I've had to rewire it a couple times just in the shaft because of the magnet wire. Magnet wire is great for tight spaces, but that's the limit. That's its scope right there. Using it, carte blanche everywhere in your model is just a bad idea, and that's what I did on this, and that's why I don't do it anymore. So it's been sitting on the sidelines because there's like, I don't know, like 3 dozen wires in the back, and they're all red because I ran out of the green. So I don't know what's positive, what's negative. I don't know what goes to what. Some of it's labeled. I was just having a hell of a time. But so that's still sitting on the sidelines. But this is what I'm going to use for the bottom. There's no dish on the bottom, so I'm actually going to use this as a double navigation or communication dish. And then on the Constellation, here is the dish I bought from Federation Models. It is a navigational deflector. It says Nebula class, but I don't know about that. I don't remember ever seeing anything like that. It's got some pretty nice detail. You see those corners? Those aren't chips or whatnot. That's actually detail designed in there. Nice little stud in the back. So it's going to go like this. But I'm actually going to pull this out. I don't think I like what I did here, and I'm going to replace it with a oversized piece. So So either I'll cut this bigger, which I really don't want to do. I like, oops, see how it'll be about like, it'll go on the side like this, but it'll go all the way out to that point. I didn't really want it that big. I like the size that I did. And I was duplicating an NX deflector. I never liked that the Reliance and the Saratogas and you know, all the ships like that never had a deflector. That always just seemed really weird. It seemed like just a real half-ass thing. I think sometimes Star Trek does some half-ass stuff like that and doesn't follow through with its own doctrine. So I'm probably going to cut this one out because I don't like it. Replace it with this, and then add this to the front. And this is not. This will stay opaque. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Is probably some highlighting on the outside of blues, and make it a darker blue to a lighter blue in the center here. But that's all that's up with that. And then the Orion class Enterprise C, I've glued on the nacelles. They're more or less tack glued for they're the proper orientation. They're all angled right. Actually, it looks like that's kicked off a little bit, but everything, I just did a little tack glue so everything's angled properly. Then I'm going to go in and glue it some more so it's properly glued. But I just did that so that I had the orientation correctly. And I haven't put it up against the model yet because I have to adjust the secondary hull. It's kind of off a little bit, but I want the nacelles to be straight as I could. So I got to do that. These are all done for the most part, with the exception of I haven't addressed the jack issue with this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess the reason I haven't gone back to it, excuse me, is I want to search on eBay for a different kind of jack. Not larger. I don't think I want to go larger, but this is like a 3/32 or something, and the model just twists on it, and there's too much play in there. This is pretty heavy, and there's just too much play in there, and sometimes it gets loose. So I need a better option. I don't want a static display rod like these on the larger ships. I want to be able to take the ship off and look at it, do whatever is going to happen, especially for transport. But I may end up going to a static one if I can't figure out a better idea. Actually, now that I think about it, I came up with an idea, but I don't remember what it was. I came up with a really good idea to fix it, but I don't remember what it is now. You know, and some of the stuff you can also use just contact points. I know I've seen a few people embed you know, magnets or anything that's conductive in the feet of figures or other things. So when you take it off the stand, it's no longer connected. The circuit's no longer complete. So the lights go out, but you just set it back down there with the magnets or whatever it is, and the circuit's complete. Maybe I could do something like that, but that's not the direction I want it to go. The other thing is, I'm going to pull my little cart with me because it's connected. I put another pass of, I'm trying to put this together. Let me set this down. I put another pass. Can you guys all see? Let me see the whole thing. Okay, so I did another pass of the epoxy sculpt inside the Enterprise D. So originally there was a lot of gap in, there was a lot of gap in here, and I put some more epoxy sculpt, and I did the, you know, get it wet and smooth it out technique. And this hasn't been sanded. I want to show it to you before I sanded it. I added more detail because basically what I ended up doing, I was really pleased with it except for the gap. And then when I looked at it, I realized that I basically laid this flat instead of it's supposed to curve up like this. So I put more sculpt down. I gave it the proper curvature. It's supposed to curve up and not be flat. And then I reapplied the detail. But if you look at like this phaser trench, it's, you know, it's sloppy because obviously I pushed the neck in there, moved it, pushed it back in there. Same thing back here, the bridge assembly. A lot of the stuff is just rough, so I have to sand everything smooth, put Mr. Surface on there or Bondo, something to smooth it out. I have to fix all the corners and stuff, or the edge rather. It's still pretty. Hey, Carsey.
Huh?
How you doing?
Did I come out?
Yeah, just go, come on. So I have to fix all the edges. My kids are sneaking out here. They don't know to come out or not. And then I have to all this for the weight. I have to cut off all the weight off here. This adds way too much bulk to it. It also blocks some areas, so I'm going to cut back as much as I can. But without doing anything, I just pulled it apart right before I started this video, and I fit a little bit tighter. This part kind of came up somehow. This dislodged a little bit, but before I did that, this all fit really good, and that's not an issue anyway. It's just all cleanup and sanding this down. And you know, I haven't used epoxy sculpt very much. I certainly have not used it for such a complex application. So I have to kind of learn as I go, and I actually have to go back and look at some detail. I pulled out my 1400 kit, and the detail in there is horrible. I mean, it's crap. So I have to do, I'm not screen grabs, I'm not going to go that crazy, but I want to have it somewhat accurate. So I got to smooth this out, check out the details, see what I'm going to do. There's some lights that go here and here, and I think there's lights here too. I can figure that out. So that's done with that. And then here's the upper, here's the upper and the secondary hull for the Ambassador, or the Orion. And it's all wired together, so I can't really let go of it. And you see this hoop right here of fiber. That's just so that that's the nav lights. So I put them there as one hoop. By doing that, that allows the fibers to stay nice and straight, or straight enough, and they don't move down or slip down or go in a wrong angle or whatever. That way they stay nice in position. So it's going to be caught. It'll be just like a normal fiber like this. One at the front right here. And the same thing with this. And what I've been noticing is the nav lights on the C, and I haven't looked at the Yamaguchi, I think it is. It's the Yamaguchi. I think I called it the Yamato earlier. The Yamaguchi, I've only looked at the Enterprise C, which I should look at the Yamaguchi. But on the Enterprise C, the nav lights are all steady. The only difference is on the dorsal there is a or the ventral there's a flashing. The tail, I think, flashes, and some shots, like all the CG stuff that's been done after the episode, like people go back and redo it for whatever reason, the nacelles flash. But in the yesterday's Enterprise, it's all steady on. All this is steady on, with the exception of the ventral and I think the tail fin. I can't remember, but I don't have to stay accurate with that. There's enough variation that I can do it however I want to do it. But the lighting is all good. I still have to replace the LED that's out. I like what it is. The only thing is I think there should be some kind of light up here. I think I looked and I didn't see anything. I almost put lights back here. In some way I almost put lights back here, but I didn't. I think there should be a light here or here. In fact, I see a little dot that looks like that should be it, and that's going to be a flashing light. These are the only ones I put on so far are the steady. So that's going to be a flashing, a strobe, in the camera, a strobe. So a strobe, strobe, maybe a strobe, I don't know. I don't even want to go back that far. Oh, the other thing too is, if you're not familiar, what are you doing, weirdo?
Nothing, you're weirdo.
Here it is. So, it's kind of hard with all this, but, so here is pretend that's together, there's the saucer, no neck on the Orion. You have, it's basically a nebula with an ambassador instead of a galaxy. So there's your nacelles right there, right? And then you have a missing neck. A missing neck.
Weirdo.
Alright, I don't have my neck right here, but this sets up just like the nebula, like this. And it's a little bit forward like this. And on top, I'm going to put a flashing strobe, a white strobe. And all these flashes are going to be white. I almost thought about doing multiples, maybe even doing some windows up here, but I'm not going to put the effort to figure out a way of getting light into here. It can be done. If I was just building this just to build this, I would do it, but since it's part of the cube, not happening. So this is on track. And I thought there was one more thing. Oh, so it is. I thought I brought it down here. I started to do the mold for the Orion, or the Nova class. I could have swore I brought that down here. But it's just a mold, that's all it is. It's not a big deal. I put the Quickset Illuminlight. I think I did leave it inside. The Quickset Illuminlight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a two-part thing. I should have the box down here at least. But the only way of doing it is casting and clear, doing a top and a bottom. And then I can do the windows. And the nacelles I'm not going to recast because they already come in two parts. And the only thing that's left with that is I need really small LEDs, way smaller than what I have. The smallest I have are, where are they? I don't think I have any out here. They're about 2.5 millimeters, or maybe 2 millimeters. Those are the smallest ones I have, and they're just way too big. Actually, you can probably see it right here. If you look, you get a pointer. That's not pointy enough. Alright, so in this buzzard, so what you see, let me just turn, there you go, losing parts. So what you're actually seeing is this right here, this like ovoid that you're sort of seeing, there's the ellipse right here, this is one LED. This is another LED. And it's encased in epoxy, that's how it comes. And that dark part right there that I'm kind of just rubbing over right there, that's actually the, it's called a chip SM LED. That little tiny thing, even though this whole thing, the epoxy on there increases the volume by like 3 or 4 times, that little tiny thing in the middle, that's actually what it is. And I bought these in a light strip, usually in like party departments. And you put them in like vases or some kind of flower bouquet of some kind, and they just add a little, what do you call it, animation to your flower display. But you can't get the epoxy off. So I'm gonna look online. I know Model Train Software sells some small stuff, but all the stuff's kind of pricey, you know. And I think HDA Model Works sells it, and I'm sure there's stuff you can get from China on eBay. And I'm gonna see how small I can get it. I forgot the hell I was saying. Oh yeah, to light up the Nova class, because I need some super small stuff for that, because I really want that to be illuminated. That's too cool of a ship, even though it's really small. I mean, the ship in its entirety is smaller than this pylon assembly. I mean, it's like right there. That's how big it is. All right, that's it for now. Catch you later.